Welcome to Restaurant Influencers presented by Entrepreneur. My name is Sean Walchef, founder of Cali BBQ and Cali BBQ Media. We are recording live from the National Restaurant Association show. Thank you guys for coming out. We appreciate it. Was that perfect timing?
That was good.
That was perfect timing. Well, first of all, we want to give a shout out to Toast, our primary technology partner at our barbecue restaurants, but more importantly for believing in this show, for believing in the power of storytelling, the power of what we call smartphone storytelling. And there's pretty much no other founder I would want out of 11 football fields than none other than Zack Oates. So Zack Oates is the founder of Ovation. And welcome to the show.
Thanks, man.
Thanks for hosting us in your booth.
Always good to hang out with you, whether or not we're recording. We usually are.
We're usually recording. You have a podcast.
I do.
So let's start there. Why, as someone that's supposed to be running a tech company, hosting a podcast?
Like, what better way is there to get the message out around, like, what's going on? And actually, it started off because one of our values at Ovation is build value for each other, for our customers, and for the industry. Okay. Now, when we talked about what does it mean to build value for the industry, I was having so many cool conversations with industry thought leaders, with experts, and I was like, this is unfair that I get to have these conversations and no one else gets to have them. And so I started the podcast because I wanted to share this awesome knowledge, and it's a great way to connect with people. Like, for any entrepreneur, if you're thinking about, if you need to connect with someone,
yes, do
a podcast. If you get
video podcast,
yes, a video podcast. If you get 1,000 downloads per episode, awesome. If you get them and their mom watching it, awesome. Because the whole concept is you want to connect with people. Podcasting is today's networking.
It's unbelievable. So we're going to start with our favorite random question, which is where in the world is your favorite stadium, stage, or venue?
Stadium, stage, or venue? Oh, man. Okay, this is going to be kind of weird, but in Salt Lake City...
You're going to tell me something weird?
I'm going to tell you something weird.
Go.
You probably will never have another guest tell you this.
Let's go.
In Salt Lake City, the Tabernacle in Salt Lake City.
Beautiful. We've been to the Tabernacle.
We went there together, and just the acoustics in there, the music in there, it's beautiful. I love it in there.
Okay, so we're going to go to the Tabernacle. I'm going to talk to Toast. I'm going to talk to Entrepreneur, and we're going to get a TEDx-style hospitality conference. And I want Zack Oates to keynote this conference, but I want you to tell me...
How I do my hair?
How you do your hair, one, and then I want you to sell us on Ovation. Where did the idea come from, and what do you guys do?
Okay, so I grew up in restaurants.
This is about your hair.
This is about, my hair?
You didn't listen to the instructions.
Oh, shoot.
I said, tell us about your hair first, and then tell me the Ovation
the hair
story.
product is an expensive blow dryer, 2 products,
what are the products?
4 minutes.
This is on Entrepreneur. They're going to love you.
Okay. It is
no
Aussie.
Pressure.
I use Aussie hairspray.
Okay.
Mainly because it smells the best.
Aussie hairspray,
and
there you go.
And then I use Got To Be pomade.
Got To Be pomade, Aussie. You're welcome. Zack Oates, right here. You can contact him. He's an influencer. Let's go.
I influence my kids on what they eat for dinner. Usually it's mac and cheese.
Okay, fair enough. Let's go. Okay. Give me the Ovation story.
Ovation. So I grew up in restaurants. First job was at Friendly's, awesome East Coast restaurant brand. And the whole concept was everything that we do in restaurants is for one thing. What is that? I mean, besides profit. That's number 2, right?
For the guest.
For the guest. You want to create an amazing guest experience.
Yes.
But let's talk about measuring that experience. Hey, take this 75-question survey in a half hour of your time to get $1 off your next sandwich.
Yes.
Like, no thanks.
No
right?
thanks.
Or you can go and leave a negative Yelp review or a negative Google review. And restaurants, the thing that we hear oftentimes is like, look, help us, don't Yelp us, right?
Help us, don't Yelp. I like that. I haven't heard that.
And so, because those solutions are so bad, guests don't give feedback. You miss out on over 99% of your guests' feedback because you make it too hard to give that feedback. So what we do at Ovation, it's a 2-question survey. We have over 50 integrations with online ordering, loyalty systems, and different kinds of platforms that have customer data to automate a text message to that guest to say, how was everything? Answer 2 questions for your chance to win a $100 gift card. Super simple, really easy, and if they love it, which most guests do, we invite them to do things that are going to drive revenue for that restaurant. Buy gift cards, leave reviews, schedule a catering order, buy merch. If they don't love it, then we have a powerful one-to-one chat tool that you can communicate with that guest and get that concern resolved in real time.
Real-time feedback.
Yes.
Real-time feedback.
And then here's the powerful thing. So let's say that you are operating a 50-location burrito shop.
Yep.
All of that unstructured data is helpful, but how do you actually take the time to read all of that? It's
Great
impossible.
question.
You can't do that, right?
Data storytelling.
So then what we do at Ovation is we give you 34 scores at every location, so you know exactly what do you need to fix where just by analyzing the open-ended feedback. No annoying surveys, not focusing on these negative reviews. It just makes it so easy for the guest, really simple for the manager to respond to that guest because our app allows you to do it in 2 clicks. And then corporate, get all that data and the visibility to know what's going on. So you can take a vacation and not worry, is your Sheboygan location having issues, as Sheboygan is wont to do. You know what I mean?
So what we do on this show is we talk to restaurant owners, we talk to hospitality professionals, people in sales, people in marketing, content creators, and we talk about smartphone storytelling. We talked about why you think it's important to podcast, but why is it important as a founder to create content and publish on the internet?
Because that's how you get to know people. At the end of the day, regardless of how much technology is in between you and I, it's about that human connection.
Yes.
Right? We talk about this all the time, where there's this ladder of true loyalty, where the bottom rung is convenience, right? You've got to be good enough to get your guest in that first couple times. Then it's about consistency. That's about, you got to do the same thing over and over again. You got to have what you say you're going to have when you say you're going to have it. None of this closing early stuff, none of that. But the highest rung is about connection.
Yes.
And when you have that connection, when you have a friendship with someone, you're a lot more forgiving with them.
Yes.
And that's why it's important to have this content, because when people know who you are, they're like, oh, maybe I want to cancel this product, but before I cancel, let me call because I want to see, has Zack come out with something new? Is there something to solve that problem? And that's why nobody cancels Ovation.
Yes.
Because it's about creating that content and they feel like they know us, right? It's a friendship, it's a connection, it's not just a product. And by putting a face, by putting a heart, by putting a family of 3.5 kids behind the product, it makes it more real. And it's something that I'm connected with, not something that I'm just using.
So for us, we always say social media isn't someone else's job, it's your job. You that are listening to the show, you wouldn't be listening to the show if you weren't curious, if you didn't want to get involved, and if you weren't willing to ask for help. For you at Ovation, how do you build a culture of storytellers?
I think it starts from the top down, like a fish stinks from the head first, right?
Yep.
And so as we are, first of all, forgiving of people who they might not make perfect content.
Of course.
But that's okay.
Yep.
Like we have sales reps who are putting out content, and every time that happens, we celebrate it.
Of course.
Because it's great that they're putting out content. Because again, it's not just like, it can't be a connection to me, it's got to be a connection to them.
Correct.
And everything is an extension of the brand. And the more that we get our people to create content and to be thought leaders and to post on LinkedIn and to comment and engage with other people's content, the more that we become connected with other people. And I think that's what it's all about.
So we talk a lot about trade shows. I know that out of all the companies that we do work with, you spend probably more time than anybody else.
Yeah.
Boots on the ground. Talk to me about the National Restaurant Association show, Ovation's story arc of getting to here 2023.
So our first year, we were way in the nosebleeds.
In the nosebleeds.
In the nosebleeds.
Lakeside.
We were so far away, and yet we got so many leads back there.
Wow.
Because we have a team that hustles, right? The rule is if you have an R on your badge, meaning like you're a restaurant, you don't walk by our booth.
Yes.
But then you can see, we have a really simple booth, right? We get a floor. This floor is $200. These tables are $70. Yep. These banners, we
$70 a day?
No, we buy it from Amazon and have it shipped to our hotel, and then we bring it here. And the entire backdrop and booth packs into one checked bag.
Wow.
Because I want to go to more shows. How do you go to more shows? You do it more cost effectively. And guess what? All the pizzazz and the glitz and the glamour of some of these like huge booths, at the end of the day, we're still able to get more leads than a lot of them because it's all about how do we connect with these people. And we don't do a ton of swag. We do, here's our one swag item that we do, right? It is a little, it looks like a pen, but it ain't no pen. That is...
What does it say?
It says,
for those in the back.
It says, stop getting screwed by online reviews.
Oh.
And it is a mini screwdriver set. You ready? So this is the only swag item that people actually
can I carry that on a plane?
Use. You can carry, not only can you carry one on a plane, you can carry 347 of them on a plane. Because I did that.
That was the bulk order.
Yeah, and so that's the nice thing is that, you know, we go pretty simple on these, and so I highly recommend to every entrepreneur that I meet, if you're going to do swag, do something useful, do something unique. If you're going to do a podcast, like, don't be obsessed with getting it perfect. Don't even buy a microphone.
Yep.
Like, just
Correct.
start
Just
the
go.
podcast.
Start on Anchor.
With a trade show. Oh my gosh, well, like, we don't have a perfect booth. We can't do like a 2-story thing. We can't have fire jugglers. Like, that's okay. Like,
where are your fire jugglers?
Right?
No
right,
fireworks?
Right here. It's a bright shirt and poofy hair, right? That's it. That's
It's right here. It's this guy.
But that's what it's all about. It's like, how do we just go? Just do it. And the more that you do it, the better it gets. For example, there was a professor. Have you heard the story about the professor and the self-portraits?
No, tell me.
So he has 2 classes. One, he says, you will be graded on your final drawing, your final self-portrait. And the other class, he says, you will be graded on how many self-portraits you do.
Yes.
Guess who had the better self-portraits at the end of the semester?
The ones who did more.
The ones who did more.
It's the answer to content.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Right? Take out
Quantity.
your phone, record a selfie, right? Start typing something on LinkedIn, and it doesn't need to be perfect. Put it out there and find something interesting, because there's things that you're interested in. There's things that I'm interested in.
But you don't know until you post it.
You don't, exactly. And the cool thing is that when you get to do research, so when you get to do research on something and you write like a little mini paper, that's how I look at like a LinkedIn post.
Correct.
What can I do that I'm interested in enough to do research sufficient to have a post that's adequate?
That's adequate. That's interesting.
Yes.
That's interesting. And that's shareable.
Exactly.
That
and
piques
that's what
someone's
it's about.
interest, for sure. So we talk about quantity, speed, consistency equals quality. It is always the thing that everyone wants quality first. The problem is it never comes first. Back to the portrait. It's always quantity, speed, consistency. Talk to me about speed.
So my father played professional football, right? And
what happened to you?
What happened to me? I get the same question when I tell people that my mom was a model. They're like, and I was like, you haven't seen my legs yet. They're long.
Can we show off his legs? Let's see his legs.
Can we see?
Let's see those legs. There you go. Look at those legs. Those are entrepreneurial legs. How about that?
Because every day is leg day.
There we go. Huge news. Toast, our primary technology partner at our barbecue restaurants in San Diego, and the primary technology partner of so many of the guests that we have on this show, have announced they are expanding their business offerings with Google. So now, if you search on Google Maps and you sign up for Toast Tables or Toast Waitlist, you will have the opportunity to improve the digital hospitality experience of the guest, allow them to book through the maps into the Toast reservation system. One of the biggest difficulties that restaurant guests have is when they search for your restaurant and they want a table, they do not have an easy solution to book a table or to get on a wait list. This is huge news for the restaurant industry, huge news for guests, and huge news for you, the restaurant owner. Check out Toast Tables today and find out the new integrated solution that they have. This is something that we've wanted for a long time. How do you integrate reservations, wait lists into your point of sale? Toast has done it. Check it out.
So what were we talking about?
We were talking about speed. We got quantity down, but we need to talk about speed.
So I remember going with my dad, and we would go and he would work out in like the park in the off season. And during the season, still, even on the weekends where he was off, he was working out. He built a gym in our basement so he could work out.
Wow.
Right? And everything was about how do we just do more?
Yes.
Because the more reps he got in was every rep that he got in more than the next guy, he was improving at a faster rate, right?
Yep.
And so when you talk about speed, it's like you've got to learn the basics. But at the end of the day, as I talk to people who are sitting there and they're researching, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? If you want to be a good marksmith, you shoot a lot.
Yes.
Right? And yes, you hone your skill and you figure it out, but you got to go to the range, right? My dad, he went to the gym all the time, and he was not a very good athlete in high school. Like, you know, he said that he would have quit football except for the fact that he was in Georgia and summer camp was a 4-hour drive away, and so he had no ride home. So he had to stay. And as a result, he stuck with it and went to the NFL, got himself 3 Super Bowl rings, 5 Pro Bowl appearances. Like, the guy's a baller, but he is, because he put in the reps consistently. Now, he did watch videos, he did analyze, he did think about it, but he didn't do that before he started putting in the reps. He was doing it the whole time. And that's, I think, what's so important is that people always wonder, where do I start? Like, you start here. Today. You start right now.
Right now.
Why not?
You that are listening, right now, hit pause on YouTube, hit pause on Spotify, and start right now. Start a video right now.
Write a LinkedIn post.
Write a LinkedIn post.
What's something you've been thinking about? Everyone should keep, I think one of the things that I do is I do a lot of writing.
Yes.
I journal every single day. Every single day, at the end of the day, I write 2 ways that I saw the hand of God in my life that day. And the great thing about writing is that you're able to help analyze what's happening.
Yes.
So if there's a problem you have, for example, one of my weaknesses was I struggle sometimes giving really direct critical feedback when, like, if someone is doing something
uncomfortable conversations.
Yes, I call them. I have switched them to, you know, they've been called crucial conversations, difficult conversations, uncomfortable. I've switched the context to call them kind conversations.
Kind.
Because
necessary.
What I found a lot of times, Sean, is that I was being too nice, right?
Yes.
And by being nice, I was softening the truth.
The truth vibrates the fastest.
And what happens if I'm not giving adequate feedback?
They can't improve.
They can't improve.
Yeah.
And so even by me trying to be nice, in fact, I was being unkind.
Yeah, it's true.
And so if I'm kind, I'm going to be direct. And I'm going to say, hey, Sean, I really don't like that hat. I mean, I really like that. I love the hat.
He loves the hat.
But if we...
Even though it's not an Ovation hat, I've asked him for one. I don't know. I guess I got to make my own Ovation hat.
Yeah, I need an Ovation hat.
Can we get an Ovation hat?
I need an Ovation hat.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, can we get... We'll get this. Let's get this.
Let's get that.
I want one too.
We're going to make that happen.
Scott's going to make that happen.
Okay, perfect.
So, but it's about... So that was something that I've been researching a lot about. And so I actually wrote up this whole thing all about how does one give kind feedback? Yes. And what's the framework around that? How do you set the stage for the expectations and for giving that feedback, and the framework of the here are the facts, here's the impact of what happened, and here are the actions of where I want to take it, the fact, impact, act framework. Now, I'm turning this into a leadership handbook at Ovation, so that way all leaders can improve together. But I'm also turning that into a series of LinkedIn posts, right? So I can share things that I've been researching that I'm interested in, that I'm passionate about, that I know can help other people. Those are things that you could post online. Shoot. Or we did last year at NRA. Yes. We did a dancing video.
We did a dancing video, dancing TikTok.
And
first TikTok video for Ovation.
And I posted that on LinkedIn,
right? Yeah, we did. That was amazing. A lot of engagement.
A lot of engagement there,
right? A lot of
right?
engagement, yes.
And I think, again, it's just about, it's not about perfection, it's about connection.
So we have a lot of entrepreneurs that are thinking about maybe opening up a restaurant, maybe not opening up a food business, maybe starting their content business, maybe starting a SaaS company. What's the best lesson that you've ever learned about raising capital?
Oh, raising capital. I would say, just know this. And this is something like, this is more of like a mindset as opposed to a tactic. But just know that the backyard is always on fire. And here's why that's important. Okay, the job of the CEO is to make sure that fire doesn't get to the house.
Get to the front yard.
Right?
Or get to the house before the front yard.
Exactly. Yeah. So there's always going to be fires, but the problem is we're always comparing our backyard with other people's front yards, right? And it becomes very discouraging to think, my company isn't good enough. I'm not a good enough founder. I'm not a good enough CEO. Look at all these other people, right? And
that's really good. I might steal that.
You may.
That's really good.
Trademark.
So the backyard is always on fire.
And not in like a barbecue smoke pit good kind of way.
I get it, yeah.
I mean, like...
Not like an Old Hickory kind of way.
And that's okay. It's okay. So as you go out there and you're thinking about this, like, it's okay that your backyard's on fire.
Yes.
It's just about managing it. And again, it's all about storytelling.
Yeah.
Right? Not lying.
Correct.
Storytelling.
Correct.
And when I can explain, hey, here's how we're managing this. Because everyone knows, all savvy investors know that there's going to be issues in a company.
Of course.
But it's a matter of being upfront about it, being like, hey, this is what's happening and here's how we're addressing it. And then that gives the investor confidence to say, yeah, that makes sense.
So as you've raised capital, do you find investors investing in the jockey or the horse?
So there's the jockey, there's the horse, and there's the race.
Okay.
Now, here's the interesting thing. The jockey, the horse...
Zach's obviously the jockey.
Yeah,
the good-looking jockey.
I'm a
Ovation's
jockey,
the horse.
A jockey. Ovation's the horse. Restaurant tech is the race.
Is the race, yes.
So I'll get investors that tell me all the time, love the horse, love the jockey, hate the race. And I'm like, okay, but this is a really good industry. Like, what do you hate about it? And they're like, well, I hate that churn is so high. I'm like, okay, well, what do you expect churn to be of a company that does restaurant technology? And they're like, 80% annually. I was like, gross? They're like, yeah. I was like, okay, what if I told you that our churn is, that our net revenue retention is 155%? They're like, wow. But I still don't like the race. I'm like, okay, great. Like, it's okay that there's a lot of like sheep mentality in the investor community. And some people are really, really good at building up hype. I'm not great at that. Yeah. I'm not great at like pitting one investor against the other and getting the valuation up. Like, that's like not my style, which is why it took me so many freaking dates to get married, is because like I'm so bad at playing the game. But that's what it is, right? It's a game where you've got to drum up that interest. But the way that I look at it is when you're able to tell your story and you're able to connect with that person, it's like you need one. I don't need 1,000 investors pooling over to like pulling over each other to get to Ovation.
No.
I got to find those people that believe in us and that give us the latitude to try things, because every founder is a little bit unconventional in their own way.
You can't be a founder unless you're unconventional.
And my style happens to be a little bit less subtle than maybe others.
The introvert.
Have
you been accused of being an introvert? Not so much.
Not so much. But I think that's been a really interesting thing about raising money is like remember that like you need one.
Yes.
And it's okay if you're not having like tons of term sheets thrown at you, but go after it and be organized with it. Like, for example, to raise this last round that we did, I had over 130 investor meetings.
Wow.
Right? I got so many people telling me no. And I was used to it, right? I mean, like 1,000 dates and one marriage. I mean, like you get a lot of no's in there.
You get a lot of no's.
And so that's okay, right? And I think that's the one thing that with an entrepreneur, I've only found one formula that has held up to be universally true in terms of what leads to success as a startup. And that's this. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
Okay. And again, this is me. I have talked to thousands of entrepreneurs, and I love getting the origin story and like the success story or the failure story, right? And here's the 3-step formula. You got to stay alive and excited long enough to get lucky. And that's it, right?
Wow.
So if you keep innovating and you keep trying and you keep going to the shows and you keep doing the podcast and you keep posting on LinkedIn even when people aren't liking it, like just keep doing the things that are ringing true to you. Do what the best version of you would do, the best version of your company would do, and good things are going to happen if you're focused on building value for others.
It's amazing. It's amazing advice. And for those that are listening, we want you to tell your story. We want you to get involved every single Wednesday and Friday on the social audio app Clubhouse, 10 a.m. Pacific time. You can find Zack Oates. Sometimes we're fortunate for Zack to pop in on our conversations, but we have digital hospitality leaders from all over the globe, sales, marketing, restaurant owners, caterers, content creators. Come on the app, come sit, tell us your story, get on stage. What kind of advice do you have for someone that's listening to the show one of the things I tell all people that are in sales, all people that are in marketing, that you're in both sales and marketing, and you're in content, and your story matters. Social media isn't someone else's job. What advice do you have to somebody that wants to start sharing their voice?
I would say it's all around building value, especially like you're talking about sales. We're all in sales. What is sales? Like, why did you buy that hat?
Why did I buy this hat? Because I like how it fits.
You like how it fits.
I like how it looks.
Right?
Yeah.
And it for you, it fills that need.
Yes.
Right?
Makes me comfortable.
It makes you comfortable.
Have you seen me without a hat? Like once?
I don't think so. No. You have
There
hair.
you go. I have hair.
Normally, people wear hats because they're bald, right?
I have hair. I have a lot of hair, actually.
You do.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, if you're focused on building value for others,
Yes.
and that is the prime direction of everything that you're doing with your content, with your marketing, with your messaging, and it's all around what value do you need and how can we fill that? That's what it comes down to. And like with us building out Ovation, this team, we are so obsessed with building value for our customers that people talk about it. And they say, this was something that I didn't even know was out there.
Yep.
And so that's where I feel like you really focus, and eventually it will click. If you stay excited and alive long enough to get lucky, that excited part is all around iterating around building value. How do I build more value in easier ways for my people?
I love it. So every week we give a social shout out. This week's social shout out's going to Rising Tides Creative, who's ignoring me now, but they have been an absolute treasure to work with for the last 4 years. What we're doing here at the National Restaurant Association show, I couldn't do without Aaron, Michonne, Tony, Andrew, who was here last year. We're grateful for you guys. You need to shout someone out, and you can't do the whole Ovation team, even though I just did the whole Rising Tide Scream. I need one person, Zach. I need one person that's going to get shouted out on entrepreneur.com.
Okay, the one person would be two people.
like a true founder storyteller.
I've got just my two partners in life. One is my partner of my spouse.
Yes.
Last year I did 42 trips, and we've got 3 kids at home. She's pregnant. Like, I get a chance to go out here and do all this work because she is a rock star. And then my other partner is my co-founder, Derek Morgan, who is just
amazing.
Such a stud, really amazing. And even though he's got all of his responsibilities, he still is here at the show with us. And he's getting stuff done for the product, for our customers, while being here. And it's great. He's the kind of partner that you want to look for, someone who has innovation, communication, and dependability-ation, which are the 3 things I look for in a good partner, and he's got them in spades.
Okay, so now I'm going to put you through the smartphone storytelling test.
Okay.
You ready? Are you ready?
Ready.
Okay. iPhone or Android?
iPhone.
Which version?
14.
Apple Music or Spotify?
Spotify.
Text or email?
Text.
Email or Slack?
Slack.
Text or phone call?
Text.
Favorite app?
Chess.com.
What is it?
Chess.com.
Chest?
No.
Chess.com.
No. I like
CHESS?
Chess.
Did I catch a T in there?
Chess.com and Family Tree. Those are my 2 favorite. If I had to choose one app, those are my 2 favorite ones.
Okay, your least favorite app?
Can I say this?
Yeah.
Am I allowed to? Yelp.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. Least favorite app? You work with restaurant owners all the time, right?
Either Yelp or American Airlines app. Those are
American Airlines. What notifications do you dislike the most?
Oh man, maybe when my wife Venmo requests me for money, which she randomly
Venmo
does.
request for money. That's fantastic.
Sometimes she'll just like Venmo request me for $100, and I'm like, you have access to our bank, just pull it out. She's like, it's the principle. I want you to pay me this money.
Oh my gosh.
And every time I go on a trip, I pay her. So that's like,
I like it.
She gets like a
That's
little,
smart.
$100 shopping spree. Why not?
I like that. That's good. So if you guys want to follow me, it's at Sean P. Walchef, ShawnPWalchef. I want to hear about your restaurant. I want to hear about your content creation journey. If you're in sales, marketing, no matter where you are on earth, it's important to build community.
Amen.
That's why we do the things that we do. How can people connect with you, Zack?
You can find me on LinkedIn, Zack Oates, Zack with a CK, ZACK, OATES, or on Instagram. Shoot, if you want to see my cute family, they're really adorable, at Zack Oates. And Ovation Up. Check us out. Would love to help you out if you're a restaurant. Would be happy to chat about podcasting or trade shows. Hit me up on LinkedIn and find me out. Zack Oates, and Ovation is ovationup.com.
And a special shout out to Toast. Toast integrates with Ovation, absolutely incredible. So if you're a Toast customer, check out Ovation. If you're not a Toast customer, Ovation integrates with how many point of sale?
Over 50.
Over 50 point of sale companies. There you are. National Restaurant Association show. This is Zack Oates. You have to follow him. Follow Ovation, and we'll catch you guys next week.
And I was told we can clap, right?
We can clap. That's a wrap. There it is. That's an standing ovation.
Oh, standing ovation.
Standing ovation. That's it. Thank you for listening to Restaurant Influencers. The best way that you can help us with the show is to subscribe and write a review. We love the opportunity to connect with you no matter where you are on the globe, no matter what restaurant you are running. Please send us a DM on social at Sean P. Walchef. If you are interested in Toast, if you want to improve your digital hospitality, please send me a DM. I will get you in touch with a local Toast representative. We appreciate you listening to this show. The best way that you can help this show is share it with a friend, and we will catch you all next week, or we will see you on one of the digital playgrounds that we call social media.